Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I finally set up another waterer for these guys. I thought they had heaps of water left in there, but the way they're all behaving around this waterer, which is basically a homemade one using it, there's a 20 litre drum. I've got, I need to go turn the hose off in a minute. I've used some plumbing pipe and some nipple waterers. You probably should only do 4 nipple waterers on these, not the 6 that I've got, because they tend to stand on the perch, which is very irritating. But yeah, at the moment I'm having a lot of trouble getting into this pen because of that rooster. He starts attacking me. I know he's really little, but yeah, he starts going after me every time I go in there. So I'm having to be really careful. But I'm going to have to go turn the hose off. I will be back in a second. So anyway, now that I've turned that off, I had someone drop over 4 roosters today because they live in suburbia and their kindergarten hatched some chicks and they got roosters, which is quite common. I mean, really, when you hatch chicks, you've got to expect it. Actually, it's more than 55% are going to be roosters. So yeah, so I now have 4 new roosters to go along with my 30 odd over there. I think there's only 20 actually. I really don't know. I haven't counted them. But yeah, they got some treats today from the aquaponics bed because I'm decommissioning one of the beds and pulled out all of the cabbages that were getting decimated by aphids, and they're obviously not going to form cabbage heads. They just got planted too late in the season. And honestly, that particular punnet of cabbages I paid like 50 cents for because it was in the TLC thing section. But the chickens will have fun. They'll turn those lovely leaves and all those lovely aphids into meat. They won't turn them into eggs. Well, some of them will, because there are some hens over there, but not very many. It's a precious few. I think there's about 5, if that. Yeah, they're going to town on that water. They're really, really enjoying that water. So obviously they did run out of water, which is not a good thing. But I just couldn't get in there to check it. And I didn't want Matthew going in there to check. Like, I'm not even going in there to put feed in there. I'm just throwing it over the fence at the moment. And they scratch it through and they eat it through the dirt, so it's not going to hurt them. But yes. It's interesting. This lot are more interested in the scraps, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm still having challenges with these roosters and hens getting outside of the net. But it's going to happen. There are holes all through this. I really have to go through and repair it. Like even here there's a hole that they can get through, and they get under this black netting that's been added. They get under that. I really need to go through and stitch it on like it's been stitched on at the top. I need to stitch it to the bottom. Of course, they get out and they've scratched up my lemon, which is a pain in the backside because that one's only just starting to recover. Oh, I really should probably take a cutting from that and graft it over onto that lemon tree, along with the cutting from the others that I've got around the place too, because that one's not bearing any fruit. Oh, here we go. 3 of the 4 new roosters have come over for a drink now. I'm glad to see they figured it out pretty quickly. The nipple waterers work really, really well, and they help to keep the water clean and stop things from getting in there. We did have a few squabbles with Mr. Silky Bossy Boots with the 4 new ones. He just headbutted that one because he has to show them who's boss, because he is the top rooster. He's going to go into freezer camp, I think. The only problem with that is I know silkies have black skin, so I can't quite get my head around a black rooster. And this cat, driving me up the wall. He was just attacking my feet then. But yeah, the nipple waterers work fantastically. Now there's some water in there. Rooster was just inside getting some water out of that. Oh dear. Anyway. Oh, this little one here, that one's probably a hen. And that one will be a hen. This cat, he scares the goats. He weaves in between my legs. He's just a little bit of an irritating thing sometimes. But anyway, I'm really struggling to get into things this afternoon. It feels like it's been a long day. It hasn't really been that long. Well, I did do some videos up for the Eagleby Community Wetlands group. When the committee went to go meet with the Main Roads Department a few weeks ago, they gave me a website where the Coomera Connector was actually on the gazetted maps were actually on the planning maps. So I was able to do a video up showing people where the entrances and exits were, because a lot of people down south don't know. But I'm basically hoping that people in Eagleby become aware of where the road is, because further down south they've had that road gazetted for 20 plus years. We've only just had it gazetted since March, and it was just sprung upon us without any community consultation. No one knew anything, and it's just very poor planning on the government's behalf. And it's a dreadful place for it to go through because it's wetlands. But anyway, if I remember, I'll leave a link below for that video. If you're interested, if you're in the Eagleby area, have a look at where the 6-lane freeway is going to go. Well, it's not a freeway; it's a 6-lane road. We don't really know what it is actually. They haven't given us any actual details on what this road is supposed to be, and I don't think even the government can agree. One half wants 4-lane, the other half wants 6-lane, and seriously. Yes, these chickens definitely like their nipple waterer. And the other advantage of it is that the water doesn't evaporate, so the water doesn't get muggy, the water doesn't evaporate, you don't end up with huge pools of water everywhere. You still end up with a cat weaving in between and in and out of your legs, smooching you over and nearly knocking you over. It's all good. He has tripped me up a couple of times actually. He's not a very bright cat sometimes. I don't know what he is doing. My goodness. My goodness, he's a silly cat. A silly cat. Silly cat. The roosters aren't very impressed. I really don't know what he's trying to do at the moment. Anyway, these nipple waterers are really great. Like I've actually, on the bottom of these buckets, and I pick those buckets up for like $2 to $3 off Gumtree, and then I get the nipple waterers and I put 4 nipple waterers in those buckets, and they're just brilliant. They really are. Makes it really easy to fill up the water, and these ones are much better. Oh, sorry, the cat just scratched my foot. They're much better than the ones that I've got for the ducks, but the ducks don't seem to get their head around the nipple waterers as well. You can get the little drinking cups for them, but I haven't got them organised at the moment. I did have some organised, but they kept breaking them. Not the nipples, not the cups, but the actual bucket that the cups were screwed into. So yeah, I don't quite know how that was working, but I really like the nipple waterers. Rob Bob's actually done a really good video explaining how to do that. And you can buy these from Farmcraft and all that sort of stuff. So if you don't want to make it, or you don't have the capacity to make it, you don't know how to make it, they don't have the nipples, they've got the cups. So they're a lot more expensive. These are a nice cheap DIY way of getting around it. But I better go get my chores done. Chickens are doing a nice job in here cleaning up the reeds. Still got a fair bit to do. I should chuck some mulch in here for them actually. But it's on the list of things to do. Along with a lot of other things. But I better go get the chores done. You have a great day. Bless you.